My name is Arvin Haddad. I'm the How to Buy a Mansion guy. I've critiqued over 1,000 mansions and I buy mansions for my clients. Let's get the show started.
Mortgage rates are climbing again.
Wealthier buyers may also be seeing some new difficulty.
The reality here in Los Angeles now is that we have the highest transfer tax anywhere in America.
The citizens of Los Angeles voted to have a 4% tax on sales over $5 million.
If you have a house 10 and up, you pay 5.5% when you sell the house.
That's true, except not all cities within LA County fall under that. For example, Beverly Hills doesn't have a mansion tax, Hidden Hills doesn't have a mansion tax, Malibu doesn't have a mansion tax, Santa Monica doesn't have ULA but has something worse. A mansion tax in Santa Monica is even worse than LA.
If you want to know the truth, the market sucks.
I'm doing a lot better than I would have expected. I stick to what I know, which is Bel Air, the Bird Streets, Beverly Hills. I'm not interested in going to Orange County or Mars, or are there even Jews in Orange County? I don't even know.
So that's a limiting belief, because I'm not Jewish and more than half my clients in Beverly Hills are Jewish. They don't care about your religion. What they care about is if you're good in marketing, if you're good in negotiations, if you know real estate really well, and if they can trust you. And in fact, multiple times I've got the job or the listing or the buyer because I was not Jewish, and I'll tell you why. When you become someone's agent, you get to know a lot about their business. You get to know how much money they make, you will get to know how much money they have in their bank account, and all the personal dynamics between husband and wife, the kids, the dog, everything. And a lot of times people within a community don't want an insider to have that much access to their personal life, so they choose an agent that doesn't work within the same circles. There you go. Don't let limiting beliefs stop you.
I still am egotistical, condescending, somewhat rude, and abrasive, but
He's a little bit nicer in person, just a little bit.
Heading down to Laguna for a listing appointment.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hey, James.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Wow, what an entry, first of all.
Everything was fully renovated. We did LED lighting on the steps.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This is our living area.
So if you're a new viewer, not a subscriber, you wouldn't know this, but I critique mansions, a ton of them, like NS video. This is clearly a remodel house. Why? Ceiling heights are really low, and you can see this column in the middle that shouldn't really be there if it was brand new construction, so you can tell.
This is imported marble.
Yeah, and I like the wood detailing as well.
Then we go upstairs, you'll see the ocean views.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that view.
This is
So that's
awesome.
Crescent Bay Beach right here.
Yeah.
All right, let's first rate the view. I think most people will walk into this view and they will be like, oh my God, this is the best view I've seen. It's not that good of a view. It's all about perspective, right? Like compared to what? First thing you should know is that this is on the wrong side of the street. On the other side of the street, you will have a better view because as you're going hillside up, there will be a bigger elevation drop on the street below you as to the house in front of you. So you will get a bigger drop, less roof line on the row on the other side of the street. Now, overall, it's kind of a good view because half you got water, half city landscape and hills. So it's not like just water where it gets really dark at nighttime. You will get no views. So you get a little bit of city light. Overall, the direction of the view is pretty good. And I think you're south facing over here.
This Cristallo, which I happen to know because it's in my kitchen.
In your kitchen as well.
It's beautiful, but I love that you lit it.
Everything's imported.
What are the fixtures that you used here?
Aren't those amazing?
It's like
walnut.
jewelry.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is really typical. During a listing interview, almost all agents go through the same process. They kind of go through the house and they say, wow, oh my God, everything is so good. Even a tear down, they will talk about the potential. You basically want to make the seller feel really good about their property and how much you appreciate it. That's pretty much standard, right? If you walk in there and talking about like how I talk about the properties, you're not going to get the listing. That's for sure.
James has paid attention to every detail, from the flooring to the cabinetry to the hardware to the marbles that he chose.
So the marbles are really nice, but overall the finishes, I'll give it like a 6.5. It's really good for a flip. You don't want to overspend over here, right? There's a little bit of too much color. It's kind of more of a fun vibe. It's not really like a classic look, but overall for a beach house, it kind of works.
They brought it on at $899, thinking that was a valid and fair price.
For example, look at the closets. You know, this is California closet. This is not ultra luxury. So they've spent the money on the marble, but kind of done California closets for the closet. They haven't gone all out over here.
Like, how do you feel about 8750, 8775?
Yeah, I think so. 8775.
I knew you were going to pick that
of
one.
course.
I know. In my opinion, they need to be at 7995, but bullying your clients into a price that they don't want to sell for before they're willing to sell it at that number is never the answer.
This is a huge point, okay? Tracy is very smart. She's a very experienced agent, okay? She knows in her, heart of hearts that she needs to be at 799. And here's spoiler alert, cover your ears, because this property ended up selling at 7.2. Now, she claimed that if they listed at 799, the property would have sold for 8.1 or 8.2. I doubt it. I think it would have probably sold around 7.6 because it took a very long time after this price reduction for the property to sell. And they literally, the seller, chased the market down all the way to 7.2. I think this is one of the biggest problems with residential real estate, because if Tracy did not take this deal, another agent would totally take the listing at 899. Again, this is really a sad truth about our industry, because we're supposed to be advisors and trusted individuals where if you're hiring someone, you should listen to what they have to say, right? Otherwise, don't hire them. And Tracy did her job. She told her truth, and the seller did not accept it. Now, some agents would just walk away and be like, look, this is my price. I'm not going to waste my time. It's not going to sell. Now, the good news is that Tracy actually sold it. They stuck around with her all the way till the sale, and she got her commission at 7.2.
The Altman brothers have an incredible listing on Reedcrest.
Such a small world. So one of my subscribers from my YouTube channel reached out, who's the person who actually ended up buying this property maybe a month ago, and asked me questions about this property. I'll keep that conversation private. But such a small world for, this property being featured, and I'm making a video and this owner reached out.
It's located in Beverly Hills Post Office, and it's a stunning modern home.
The views are a 10. The pool's a 10. The finishes are a 10.
Okay, the views are not a 10. I will give it a 6. The finishes are more like a 7. The pool is, maybe an 8. It's a pretty cool pool.
It's been on the market for 18 months. It's stale. It almost makes me want to sell it more. The more screwed up the deal, the more I want to sell it.
I need to go make sure down.
So I don't know if you noticed something. This is on one side of the valley. Now, can you spot one flaw right off the bat? Your property opens up to this valley, and the other hill on the other side, there are a bunch of houses that look into your backyard. That's not ideal for privacy.
Previous agent didn't utilize this great bonus space downstairs, but it's not permitted square footage. That's where the big challenge comes in for us. Oh, next time we're using the elevator.
We've decided to take that empty space and stage it and make it livable.
It's a blank space, all concrete. We want people to come and hang out downstairs so that the right buyer will see that you can spend about $500,000 to $1 million building out that bonus space and then selling it one day for $20 million.
So it's not so easy to just build the space, because original owner would have done it, right? So you probably have to get special permits for ADU or junior ADU or a combination of two, and you've already maxed out for the neighborhood. You've already priced out, right? That's why it's not selling, because there's plenty of $20 million, modern mansions that sell in LA. Why didn't this sell when it came on the market? It's just slowly chasing the market down, and you'd be surprised how much I actually ended up selling for.
So here's the deal. Heather and I know saying this property is, 9,000 or so square feet, knowing that the bottom is not built out. Yeah, of course, it's a risk.
Yeah, it's a big risk. You can easily get sued for that.
Livable square footage is qualified by covered air-conditioned space.
In order for something to be considered livable space, it's very simple. It needs to be permitted.
I agree. I mean, I don't know about air conditioning, because it might be an old building, doesn't have air conditioning, but it needs to be permitted, right? That's like the main bar.
The idea of listing the house on Reedcrest at 9,000 feet is to get more eyeballs.
It's a strategy, but a very, very risky strategy. You just open up yourself for lawsuits. So pay attention to this property. One of the main things is that the backyard is actually not level with the main street. I call these houses upside down. and there's no lawn, right? There's barely any lawn. It's just the swimming pool, takes most of the stuff. So it's not really a family-friendly property. And, you know, just the neighborhood caps. Like, there's really expensive properties on other areas very close to it. So I could see some buyer coming in and falling for it and thinking, oh, this is just close enough. But if you know the market, if you know the exact area, this was never a $15 million property. Not even close.
Hey, guys.
Oh.
I sold my friend Carly this house with the intention of tearing it down, and she didn't listen to me, and here we are 2 years later. It's gone from $10 million to $30 million.
This lot's perfect because there's already like a 100-year-old tree that already exists that my dad's incorporated into the design.
You know, it'd be even more special if there was a tennis court here and you let someone else put it on the property.
A tennis court? No.
No, that's
I want
actually...
to keep the trees.
I think you should sell it to a tennis player.
What?
All right, let's talk about a tennis court on a property like this. In my opinion, you should not put a tennis court on a property for a lot that is like anything less than 1.5 acre. Unless, you know, your kids are going tennis pro, like you want them in Roland Garros and Wimbledon by the age 10. Otherwise, you're just not going to play that much tennis. And you will have a very hard time selling that property. It's not, you know, it's not going to add value to it. But it's mostly in residential real estate, especially in high end. It's just a flex. Tennis is not even as popular as it used to be, but it's just a lot of really wealthy, ultra luxury people want to say, I have a tennis court.
Hey, James, how are you?
Thank you. Doing well, thanks.
I got your email, and that's fantastic. It's a very strong offer. Carly's property is a hot commodity in the sense that it's large and flat enough to accommodate a championship tennis court, which is rare in the flats. And he knows that, which is why James's offer is so strong.
Hi, John.
Hi, how are you? I got you an offer for it from our tennis player buyer.
Okay.
$16.5 million. This is final and best. This is a great offer.
I mean, look, obviously that's a good number, but it's not amazing.
It's a great number. I don't even know how freaking Josh Flagg pulled that off. I've done two transactions with Josh Flagg on both sides. He represented the buyer, I represented the seller. And on both sides, he wrote the cleanest offers that it was almost impossible to say no to. And this deal did the best thing for the client because there's no way someone else would have paid that much money for that lot. So Josh did a really, really good job. The buyer kind of got screwed, but that's what he wanted, and he paid for it. You know, when you do represent both sides of the transaction on a deal that is heavily better for the seller or buyer, someone gets screwed. But I think he kept it actually pretty transparent. He told the buyer that's a very strong offer. And, you know, the buyer did that knowingly. So I don't have any problem with the way he handled this transaction. And she's crazy if she wouldn't take this deal.
Yes, it is. That's $5 million profit. It would be a record sale.
I understand it would be a record sale for you.
It would be a record sale, period. There's never been a property that's sold dirt value for $16.5 million in the flat.
So there are a couple of things with this lot too. Even though it's a 30,000 square foot lot, it's not the largest. Like 36,000 is the largest in the flats. It's a little bit close to Sunset, so you might hear the sunset noise, and it's relatively speaking on a busy road. So again, $16.5 million. He's getting her at the peak of the market, the top dollar for a freaking fixer or a teardown. Amazing, amazing deal.
Bottom line is this. If this deal falls apart, I can't get her $16.5 million again for this property. It's simply not worth it.
Honestly, the offer is not compelling enough to make this a definite yes.
Compelling enough, it's a $5 million profit in 2 years.
I know Brooke's out today, but can you reschedule some of the showings at Ridgecrest? Apparently, it's tenant occupied again.
Wait, what did you say? It's occupied? No, I have this hedge fund guy for 4 hours before he goes back to Miami. What do you mean? I can't get access?
No, they just did another short-term rental.
What the
I know. Surprise! After the open house, the Ridgecrest seller started short-term leasing the property, which we didn't know about.
That's crazy. This is the perfect buyer. Bachelor, hedge fund guy, wants to entertain. The team that owns Ridgecrest built a house thinking that it was going to be worth $20 million. Now that house because of the market, is now only worth 15.
It was never worth $20 million. It was at max, at the peak of the market, it was probably worth $13 million. I'll tell you how much it traded and how much I think it's worth today.
Carrying costs on a property like this, you're talking about $100,000 to $140,000 a month.
So in order to counteract that, they've been renting it short term to make money. In the short term, it's great. In the long term, you're just putting a Band-Aid on a wound that is just gonna keep going and going.
How many canceled showings have we had?
4 canceled showings.
God.
Yeah.
How are we gonna sell a house if we can't show a house?
Yeah.
Can you print out how much we're into that house?
We're at $18,653.
Okay, so this actually happens very often, where a developer falls in love with their own property. They're blinded to the flaws of the property. They think they're gonna get lucky, or someone's gonna come appreciate and love their property as much as they do and pay over the top. But they spend so much time on the market, while at the same time they have to pay hard money interest at maybe 10% initially, but these, as the interest rates went up, these hard money loans renewed at a higher rate with penalties, where the payments become so expensive that they have to rent it out. And when you rent it out, 2 things happen. The property is not available to show, and the property gets damaged, which start showing wear and tear on the property, and it doesn't even attract the right buyer, so you devalue the property even lower and lower and lower. Now, spoiler alert, this property actually ended up selling at auction for $9.8 million, which is, again, a testament to chasing the market down, not being honest with yourself about valuation of property you own, and maybe being over leveraged on a property to begin with. But if you want to see a transaction where the developer priced it right and sold it very, very quick, watch this video. This is my favorite mansion in Los Angeles. It's not perfect, but check it out. And see you guys in the comments. Bye.